laugh, dude. You're horrible. All right, guys, welcome back to our next episode of Dolor por Amor. I am your host, Ricardo Gutierrez, and with me on this very, very special episode, my fiance, the love of my life, Nadia Vasquez. Let's give a little round of applause for my fiance.
You're so sweet.
So, baby, episode number 7. What do you think so far?
You know, I've listened to every single episode thus far, and they just keep getting better.
Yeah.
Seriously, I feel like I fight tears on every single episode, so I'm so nervous for this.
Yeah, she's very nervous. Like, we've had to kind of get our emotions gathered up, but here we are. But real quick, for the people that don't know who you are, give them a little background. What do you do? Where do you work? Who do you love the most? So.
Well, my name is Nadia Vasquez, and I'm a Phoenician, born and raised here in Phoenix, Arizona. And I do marketing, branding, social media management, anything under that marketing umbrella, really. I'm a creative here in Phoenix, and I love to help my community. And today we're here at Fair Trade Cafe.
The roots.
I literally grew up in this cafe,
Yeah.
so this is crazy.
Yeah. I literally spent numerous amount of times here too, and it's a very special place in my heart. So.
For many, really.
Yeah. All right, baby. So let's get the show on the road. First question I want to ask you.
Already?
Already. We're just going to dive in. We always dive in. What is one of the things you wish you would have heard growing up?
By the way, Ricardo sent me all of these questions, and I looked at them, and I practically shit myself. Because it's one thing to go and talk about your work and what you do, but it's a whole other thing to go and talk about literally your traumas. And I'm so comfortable with you.
Yeah.
So it just really hits home.
Yeah.
And we have some liquid courage, so
Shout out to Canelo Alvarez for the VMCs.
And shout out to Fair Trade for the cups. We had to keep it classy.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Go for it. Stage is yours, baby.
So I grew up in a single parent household, and I was raised by a single mother.
Shout out to my suegra.
Shout out to Stephanie. Love her. But, I didn't really realize that that I didn't have a dad. I mean, I have a dad, but, he wasn't in the picture. I didn't really realize that until I would have to sign paperwork, and it would say mom and dad, and I would have to always leave the dad signature blank. It was so sad, and I was just confused. I didn't really understand. I grew up with all my needs met, I had everything I needed, loving family, roof over my head. I was fine. Great childhood. What was the question?
It was, what is one thing you wish you would have heard growing up?
With that being said, I grew up really close to my grandparents too. And I feel like I got a lot of love when I was a kid. I think the only thing I would have liked to hear is, I don't know. And that's such a privilege to say that,
Yeah.
I don't know what I would want to hear. I wouldn't redo my childhood at all.
Really?
No.
Yeah.
I think everything happened for a reason.
Of course.
And the cards were dealt a certain way for a reason, and I wouldn't take any of it back.
There you go.
But
that's beautiful, baby. That's a beautiful response.
Thank you. I don't know if there's anything I would necessarily specifically want to hear, but I also spent a lot of time by myself.
Yeah.
I always entertained myself a lot. Me and my siblings are super far apart in age too. So me and my older brother are 10 no, 6 years apart, and me and my younger brother are 10 years apart. So I spent a lot of time entertaining myself, which is great. I have a wild imagination. I'm super hyper creative. So I think that's what I kind of get that from. But if I didn't hear it from somebody, I think I would just imagine it in my head.
And do you think that's why you have such a drive now with your work? Because you grew up having to kind of like be on your own and kind of, to say, like, lay down your own pathway versus having to, rely on an older brother or older sister. You kind of just have to, take life on your own. You think that's what navigated you to be as such a hard worker as you are right now?
Yeah, and I think sometimes it's too much, I just want such a beautiful life.
Yeah. And so far, I believe you do have a beautiful life.
Absolutely, I do. Yes, I'm
That's
very
good,
grateful.
Of course. That's one thing, is you always got to be grateful for what you have. Like you said, we all got to accept the cards we're dealt with, because at the end of the day, there's other people that don't have that privilege of growing up in a loving family. And, I actually had both my parents, so I am grateful for that situation. I can only imagine how it must have been being raised by a single mom. So kudos to you, baby.
Thank you.
What is something you understand now that you didn't understand at a younger age?
I think maybe that I didn't understand at a younger age, but I do understand now. I think I learned a lot about gratitude and abundance and, being in a certain mindset, and I'm still learning it to this day. But I think it's so beautiful. Like, what is your thoughts is your projected reality. So when I was younger, like, my mom would always tell me these things, and I'd be like, okay, like, whatever.
You're a little diva.
Oh, for sure. But as I've gotten older, I really, really believe in the universe and, of course, God and all those things and spirituality and stuff. But really, we can create whatever life that we want to live. And if we truly believe in that and walk in that faith, we can do whatever we want. So I feel like I've lived a very go with the flow kind of life, where I don't plan a lot of the things that I do.
You should see her calendar.
Okay, I do plan like my day-to-day, but like a lot of the big things, like for instance, I did not plan that I was going to go to school out of state and to Texas. It kind of just all unfolded that way. And then I did not plan that I was going to go and get my master's degree. That was not like, okay, after I'm going to do this, I'm going to go and do that. It was not the plan. I kind of learned to flow with life, because everything I feel is already decided for us, and the more with ease we flow, the easier things will come. If that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
It's destiny,
Exactly.
Like you said, the cards you're dealt with, going back to your first statement, like, it transitions through your whole life. So it's good.
And everything happens for a reason. I know a lot of people say it, but I truly believe that absolutely everything happens for a reason, good and bad.
Yeah.
I mean, look at us.
I know, right? 9 years. That's crazy.
I know, it's crazy.
It's
and
crazy.
like
We're about to be 10 years.
like such different upbringings.
Yeah.
That it's so beautiful when we come together.
Yeah, it is. Going back to you just being go with the flow, it took me a long time to kind of get to that point. I feel like once you start thinking in that level of magnitude, you say this all the time, life just starts becoming easier. It's not necessarily that it is easier, it's just that the energy that you're giving off kind of reciprocates and it bounces back to you, to the point where things just come naturally.
Yes, and like I think very recently, within the last few weeks, I've been learning that you should not have to work until your body hurts, until your brain shuts off. Like, working and making money should not have the whole hustle mentality and like all that stuff. I'm slowly learning, and it's really hard to unlearn habits, especially when they're instilled in you at such a young age. I think especially being Latino, you just think you have to hustle, work, because there's no other option.
Yeah.
And I'm slowly learning and still trying to learn that, you know, the hustle mentality is not the only way, and that, you know, money comes, like, the looser the grip, the tighter the hold, is what my mom says.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that.
Yeah.
So I'm trying. That's why, you know, I go shopping.
Sometimes
It'll come back.
she gives me a heart attack. We went to Guadalajara, and we were here, there, and everywhere else, and then we were just everywhere, right, babe?
Yeah, we were everywhere. We were in the streets.
And then, like, we're walking in a small pueblito, and on the corner of my eye, I already see Nadia looking up the closest, like, shopping mall. And I'm just like, great. I thought we were going to go back to the Airbnb, maybe get, like, you know, 30-minute rest. No, we went back to the Airbnb, changed, and then straight to the mall. And
there's no time.
Brickshaw made some money off of you.
No, especially when I'm traveling, I will shop.
No, but I love that. I love that about you, because most people would be like, ew, I'm not going to go shopping in Mexico, like in this random store, you know? And
it's where you find the gems.
And I'm like, and you were like, I want this, and here, hold this for me. And I'm just like,
you're such a trooper, though.
Here we go.
I'll give you that. Honestly, you're such a trooper.
Yeah.
Like, you totally allow me to just, like, have fun. It's a playground.
Yeah.
That's
if it makes you happy, then I'm for it, you know? So that's where we're at with that. I wanted to ask you another one. What advice would you tell little Nadia?
Like, how little? So I'm 24.
You're 24, yes.
I'm still a baby.
I know. You're my baby. So, cringy. What advice would you tell, you know, little Nadia, pre-high school, I guess?
I would say, like, middle school. Middle school is such a rough time. I feel like everyone has a rough time in middle school, though. Middle school is not fun. Like, that is not a fun time. Everyone's trying to learn about themselves and all this stuff. And honestly, I would just say to my younger self, I don't give a fuck what anyone else says. Do you. Like, wear what you want to wear, say what you want to say, because that's your truth, girl. That's what I would say. I feel like in middle school I tried so hard to fit in. And I went to a predominantly white school, and there was very, very, very few people that looked like me, and I just tried so hard to fit in until I literally just couldn't anymore. And then I went to high school, and I, like, felt like I could breathe.
Yeah. Elaborate more on how was it in
middle school?
In middle school, yeah. Because I went to a public school here in Phoenix, and it was predominantly, like, African American, Mexican, you know, very little Caucasians and Asians. Like, it was just black and Mexican.
So I grew up I went to public school my whole entire life. So I grew up going to schools that were primarily minorities. So that was, like, the norm for me. I grew up around that. And, you know, my family, my friends, I played volleyball for a majority of my life, and all my teammates were always black, brown, a few little white girls in there, but they were cool white girls. No offense. Yeah. But so when I went to middle school, it was actually a whole new school. Like, they had just opened it. So they needed students. So it wasn't even in my area technically. So they would just bus us, like my neighborhood, they would bus us to that middle school. And I just remember, like, people just staring and looking, and, like, I'm super light complected right now. But when I was in middle school, I was always outside, so I was dark. I was dark. My hair was, like, fluffy because I didn't know how to, like, treat my waves, my natural waves. And it was just a mess. And people would spit in my hair on the school bus and call me names. And I didn't know what to do. Like, I literally didn't know what to do. It was so sad.
Yeah.
And like none of my friends looked like me. Like they were good people, but I couldn't relate to anybody at that school.
Yeah.
Literally anybody. And like the things you get exposed to when you are with a different demographic is different, you know? And I don't know. Middle school is just such a hard time for everybody. My little brother's in middle school right now, and he's about to go to high school, and I'm just like, oh my gosh.
I saw him grow up. It's crazy.
Yeah, you have seen him since he was like, what, 4?
Mm-hmm. So he was a little monkey in diapers and jumping around everywhere and
Literally.
going crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know, I understand. Like, kids are ruthless, dude. Like,
kids are the
worst. It doesn't matter what age. Like,
no.
Kindergarten through high school. Like, and even college, and like it goes on all the way to like people are like adults and they're still like assholes, and it's,
you know,
it's crazy, and it sucks because this world has so much hate that it's gonna take so much love to kind of shift the mentality of the human race. But
I think
we're at where we're at.
Going back to the question, what would I tell my younger self? I'm going to reword it. I would say to be confident and to practice being confident, because once you master self-confidence, no one can tell you anything. You walk into a room different. People treat you differently. Like, and it's all the way you present yourself and the way you feel about yourself, really. Because if you project that confidence, it's going to inspire people, but also you're untouchable.
Yeah. I feel like no matter what, people have something to say. And the sooner you realize it, how you're saying, like, just be confident, don't care what people think, and do you know? Because at the end of the day, it's your life.
Absolutely.
So I feel like the more you get into that position, the more they hate it because they don't affect your life anymore. So that's good.
You just can't let people faze you. And I feel like as we get older, maybe it gets a little bit more difficult, but it's like a constant reminder. I have to remind myself, like, this is your life. You got to do whatever you want to do with it.
Yeah.
Create your own story. And I'm so glad you're in my story.
We gotta stop with these cringy ass. Like, this is a podcast. Okay, baby. So just talking about like the differences and going into a different topic. What would you say have been the biggest struggles for you as a Latina entrepreneur?
So first, I was always around business since a very young age. Like a lot of Latinos, I feel like, my grandpa had a business, my tias had businesses, my mom has a business. So I was always around it. So I fought it so hard. Like when it was time to come to college or to go to college, I was like, I'm not going to get a business degree. Like that's just taking the easy way out. Again, that's like the hustle mentality. Like it has to be hard in order for you to earn it. Like, and that's not true. So I'm so glad that I ended up going. Okay, period.
You have to keep going. The camera's on you.
You have to catch up to me.
Go.
So, I'm so glad I ended up going the business route and sticking to my gut and like following my intuition, because truly that's what I'm passionate about. And I think one of the hardest things about being a Latina entrepreneur is finding your community. What I feel like once you find your community, it is a game changer. You cannot do it alone. You should not do it alone. No one ever should do it alone, because when you come together, collaborate as a community is when your growth explodes.
Yeah.
As an individual, as a business, everything. And I promise you, I swear by the Bible that is the truth.
Yeah.
Community and collaboration is the biggest key to success in your life, in your business, and everything. So I would say that is the biggest struggle. But luckily, my mother and we have created a beautiful community of Latina entrepreneurs here in Arizona, and we welcome all walks of life with open arms into this community. And I'm excited to grow it and just like have like a badass group of Latina business owners. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I feel like another struggle would be like imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
And being scared of money is a big one in our community too. Imposter syndrome is just like an everyday battle. I feel like you're like, oh, did I make it? I don't know, like X, Y, and Z. Because also like social media, like that is a whole nother ball game because you cannot compare yourself. Absolutely not. And being afraid of money is a good thing, baby girl. Attract it. It's so good. It can only bring you more opportunities in your life. And I think one thing that really stuck with me is like, you can only help people once you've helped yourself. So I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to make money so that I can help my community. I can help other people. You know, the money is not just for me and my family. It's for everybody to share and to go around. I want to donate. I want to do all those things. And there's certain things you can't do without a lot of capital.
Yeah. This is why I'm getting married to her, guys. No, but going off of that, like, I mean, I try my best to support you in everything you do, right? And man, it's no joke. Like seeing you and all the women that you surround yourself with, it's insane. Like I didn't even know a lot about like the whole entrepreneurship, and I mean I was raised in entrepreneurship as well,
but you don't recognize it. That's the crazy part.
But it's totally different from where you guys are, because ours is just, you know, my dad has a pallet company business, and it's just a small family business, and it's like,
you can't downplay
you know,
it though.
It's big, but like you guys are on a whole nother level, because it's like social media, collaborations, partnerships, you know, nonprofits. It's insane, and seeing the wave that you guys create, it's intoxicating, but in a good way.
Absolutely.
Like I'm not a Latina, but I am Latino, and I am an amor amigo, and it's like
you are.
So seeing you guys just like back to back, like throw these events, and it's like, how the hell do you guys plan these things, and how do you have the energy to continue? And it's like an event today, another event tomorrow, and you guys are going to party the next day. It's insane, and I love it. And like, it doesn't only give energy to women, it gives energy to men. Like I see it, I feed off of it, and it makes me want to do, it's contagious, and it makes me want to do better too. And I'm like, shit, I gotta catch up. So, you know, but it's beautiful what you guys have going on, and seeing you grow into the person you are right now, it's amazing. You know what you have been doing in these past couple of years, it doesn't go unnoticed, and the people that are around you, they see it too, and that's why they praise you the way they do, and they love you. So it's crazy. So
the power of community is insane, and everyone has a community around you. You just gotta tap into it.
Yeah. Going into that topic, what advice would you give other Latina women?
I would say, you know, I wrote in my notes, actually, the other day I was driving, and it was a few weeks ago, and I wrote in my notes, I was just thinking, I had like the best ideas while I'm either in the shower or I'm driving.
Those are the best.
Yes. No, literally, or I'm tipsy.
Oh.
Those three. And if you combine them, game over.
A wine in the bath. Chilling.
So I think, let me see my notes, babe.
Oh.
They're in my notes. I wrote it down because I was like, this is gold.
Okay.
Let me see. So I wrote this down in my notes. I'm so glad I did. I need to post this on Instagram. But it says, I'm going to read it verbatim.
Yeah, go for it.
Because this is came straight from my noggin, guys. I surprise myself sometimes, low-key. 5 things I would tell my girlfriend if they were starting a business today.
Sounds like a book.
Right? Actually, I need to get this trademarked.
Right? Trademark it right now.
The first one, I'll explain each one too. The first one is find your why first. So a lot of people will get really excited, start their business, they're doing it, they're running through the motions, and they don't understand why they're doing it. They get lost in the chaos of it, you know? And so if you understand your why and you constantly remind yourself of that, then you're going to do a really good job and you're good to go for the long run. Number 2 is consistency leads to success. I would say the number one thing if you want to be successful in anything is being consistent. As long as you're consistent doing anything, you're going to see the growth. You're going to see the numbers rise. You're going to see people following. You're going to see all of that. I promise. Consistency. Like, if you eat a burger every single day, I guarantee you'll see the difference. Rather, if you go to the gym every single day, you're going to see a difference. So I think just taking baby steps day by day, and you'll eventually get there. Number 3 is use your resources before outsourcing. Again, like, community is plays such a big role in when you're creating your business. There's so many people out there that are willing to help you, and you just have to ask. And I tell Ricardo this all the time: you do not have to do things alone. You should not do things alone. Reach out to people, ask for help, because everyone started from nothing. Majority of everyone started from nothing. Like, people are willing to help, and there's no reason for you to be outsourcing randos that are to charge you X, Y, and Z. The overhead's going to be crazy. Ask your family, like, put it in the group chat, like, find a Facebook group. I don't know, go to Amor Amigas event. Like, people
plug.
People will help, you know?
Yeah.
And then number 4 is you are your secret weapon. And I think that this is, like, probably the most important, because only you know what goes on between your 2 ears, and only you can create those ideas. So turn off the phone, get inspiration from something else other than the internet, and you're going to create something magical, because you're the only person that can think your thoughts. This is, like, getting crazy.
This is great.
Okay, the final one, number 5.
Let them cook.
Number 5 out of the 5 things I would tell my girlfriend if they were starting a business today is document your journey. Take your phone. You don't have to have fancy equipment. Document your journey. And it's not even for you to post it on a daily basis, which I would still recommend, but just to have that process to look back on. You know? It's such a beautiful thing. We forget a lot of things. There's so many moments in my life that I feel like I've just blacked out on, that I wish I would have taken a picture. I wish I would have taken a video, or just, even if you just take a journal and write it down. Document every step of the journey, the good, the bad. Celebrate your small wins, your big wins, all of it. So I think that is what I would tell Latina entrepreneurs.
It's beautiful. All right, so enough about business.
Oh no, I could talk for hours. It's really bad.
You gibberish mouth. You. I feel like a lot of people always ask us this question, and sometimes we don't answer it, but I'll let you answer it, and then I'll kind of chime in my version of it, because you're going to lie a little bit, and that's fine. How did we meet?
Oh.
9 years, guys.
9 years.
For 10. We're going for 10 in March.
Yep.
We got engaged this year, actually. This past March.
March.
On the 9th year, we got engaged.
He put a ring on it, guys.
I know. She said, finally.
No, I didn't.
No, she didn't. But she's been wanting to. So, how did we meet?
So, we met in high school. We're high school sweethearts, which I love. And just to put that out there, this was not planned or intentional at all, you know? And I think, like, it goes back to what I was saying, how I don't plan things in my life. I just kind of go with the flow. But I went to Central. We both went to Central. I had just moved from the West Valley to Phoenix.
Literally, like, what, that month?
That
or that
same
week
month,
or something?
I had been in Phoenix for maybe 2 weeks.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I felt like I was starting a whole new life. I cut my hair dramatically.
I know. I love it now. I want you to cut it again.
He wants me to cut it again. I literally had a pixie cut. A pixie cut, like, buzzed. I was buzzed. If you know,
not
you
buzzed.
know.
It wasn't buzzed. It
to
was
the bottom.
It was pretty. It was lengthy.
It was very short.
It was lengthy, but it wasn't like buzzed cut. So
yeah,
not like Amber Rose.
I had no inches.
No,
there was no inches to give. But we were at Central, and we went to school there together. I was a freshman, and he was a junior.
You're gonna get roasted for that one.
You're gonna get roasted for that one.
I don't care. Look at us now. Shit, power couple.
So I was just living life in high school, and I was on the volleyball team, and one of my girlfriends just had to insert that in there. I mean, at Central, it's not that impressive. I would hope so, but but one of my girlfriends was like telling me about you. Because we were just friends with everybody. Because we were in Stugo, so we were just friends with all the different people at our school.
And I was friends with everybody for the wrong reasons.
Right.
You know.
So I was hearing about him. I didn't know he was hearing about me, but that's really all it was. We didn't have each other on social media or like our numbers, nothing.
Yeah.
And then one day, I'm walking during lunch, and I guess you see me.
Yeah. So I had a friend, or I have a friend still. It's my boy. And I was never in sports. I was never like that athlete guy. I was just that guy. I was that guy that everybody knew in high school.
Literally.
People would come to me for favors, good or bad. And I have a friend who was on the basketball team, and he knew your friend, Jojo. And Alexis was like, hey, you should get at Nadia. And I was like, who? He's like, Nadia. She's like, she's a volleyball player, da da da. I'm like, where's she at? Like, what does she look like? Does she have this lunch? And
by the way, like, you were a completely different person back then.
Yeah, it was.
Completely different.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's insane. So keep that in mind.
So he's like, oh, she's over there walking into the cafeteria. And then I'm like, I look, and she has this pixie cut, like it's short. And I'm like, hell no. Like, I'm not gonna date a girl with no hair. Like, I was like talking mad shit, to be honest. Like, I was an asshole. So, and then I started, like, after, you know how when you like start thinking about something and it starts popping up everywhere?
Yep.
It's crazy. So I started seeing you everywhere, and I was like, and I didn't see your face that day, but then when I saw your face, I'm like, damn, she's hot, like she's beautiful. So I was like, but then again, I was like, I don't know, like you had your own thing going on, I had my own thing going on, and
our worlds weren't meant to collide, you know?
No, like it was like we're like magnets, and you know how when you try to put two magnets together on the opposite side and it just doesn't want to connect?
Yeah.
That's kind of how it was for a while.
Yeah, like I think we knew of each other, but neither of us went out of our way to. I think also we're both kind of stubborn people.
Yes, and we still are.
So neither of us went out of our way to talk to the other person until we were at a football game together.
Yeah. Which is funny because I never do any of the sports stuff. Like I never go to extracurricular activities, mainly because I had to work. So my dad was very strict. He was very like, go to school, come back, work, and stay at home. You know, like prison kind of. And this one time, my boys were like, "Hey, we're all gonna go to the football game." You know, all my friends, and I was like, they're like, "Can you come?" Mainly because they wanted to ride, and I was like, "Fuck it." Like I was probably the only one that drove at that time, and well, it wasn't mainly because they wanted to ride, but you know, they wanted to pull up driving. They didn't want to go on like the light road or something. So I was like, "Fuck it, let's go." And I asked my dad, and my dad was like, "Okay, but you have to be back at a certain time." And I'm like, "All right, that's fine. Like I'll come back like at 9," which is why we left the game early that day. So yeah, we go to the game, and
of course I'm there.
You're there. You're still go.
I'm at every game.
Yeah. So Alexis kind of nudges me. He's like, "Hey, look who's here," and I'm like, "Okay, like." Cool, you know, I'm not gonna like go up to her or nothing. Like, she has to come up to me. Like, that was that type of person, which is like very machista. So
For
like,
real.
you know, toxic. So your friend comes up to me like what, 30 minutes, 40 minutes into the game, maybe like a little longer, but she's like, "Hey, so my friend Nadia," and I was like, "Okay, what about her?" And he's like, "I heard you're talking about her." I'm like, "Maybe like." I was just talking about me, and then we just went back and forth, and eventually, I'll let you go.
Eventually, you came up to me.
Yeah.
And it was just like so random. I was just sitting there, and he came up right up to me, and he was just talking to me. But the whole time he was talking to me, he would not look me in the eye. Like he was talking to me and like looking down, looking anywhere else but my eyes. And I was like, bro, are you like talking to me or not? Like, what? And
I was keeping my cool.
he was trying to be so cool and like calm and like, bro, I could see right through it. I could see right through it. And then eventually, you got my Instagram or my phone number?
I don't know.
I think your
Instagram.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow. That I guess it was Instagram at first.
Mm-hmm.
And
nobody gives out phone numbers.
he got my Instagram, and then later when we were leaving the game, because I also had to be home by a certain time, I was walking out, and he was driving out, and Jenny was like, ask him like for a ride, and I'm like, first of all, if my mom knows I got a ride from anybody, my ass beat. Not literally, but I couldn't go to anyone's, and I'm like such a rule follower, so I was like, no, and we got a ride to the light rail though. Like literally, it was not even a ride. Like it was like across the street.
It was a ride from the football field to the front of school campus. Which was at least a block, but still a ride.
It was a ride, and we were in the car, and we were just so giggly, and I was just like, what did I say?
Oh, so I was hella paisa, so like I was bumping. Okay, I mean, back then it was crazy. So like the whole Pumas and stuff, but and I had a 4x4 pickup truck. I had a sound system, so I was bumping Ariel Camacho, which I believe he had just passed away. So that was the wave, and we were bumping corridos. All my friends were in the truck. They were in the back, in the back seat, not in the back of the truck, because that's kind of disrespectful.
That's disrespectful.
Don't do that. So, and I was like, all right, fierro, like get off the truck. And you're like, okay, whatever that means. And you just got off and left. And I was like, what the fuck? I thought she was disrespecting me.
I literally said that. I was like, whatever that means.
Yeah. But it was a great, I'm not gonna lie, like, I think you know this, but that made my whole month. I was like, holy shit, like, what is going on? Like, I don't know. There was a very, like, crazy spark that happened that day.
I think so, too.
It was really weird and awkward, but I felt the energy, so.
We just, like, clicked really, really well.
Even though I didn't look at you at all.
I guess not, but like we would see each other at school, and like Ricardo was notorious for ditching. Yeah. But he would ditch and he would bring me food. So like I did not care, and I was like, just bring me food, bring me pizza, ice cream.
The kids are watching
coffee, anything.
So we had an AJ's really close to the school, and the Dutch Bros too. And she's like, "What period is this? Okay. Where are you at?" And I'm like, "We came to McDonald's." "What time are you coming back to campus?" After school, when the bell rings, and you're like, I want a pizza. Very demanding. She was very demanding. She didn't say,
ladies, you have to tell them what you want.
She didn't say, can you bring me a pizza, please? No. She's like, cheese pizza from AJ's and some kind of lemonade or whatever that they had there.
Yeah.
And that was her drink. Or if I went to Starbucks, she would get a vanilla bean caramel cafe or something like that.
I don't even know what I was drinking.
Venti.
I don't even know.
And I was never like a Starbucks drinker, so I was like,
I wasn't either, but that's what was accessible.
Yeah. And I was like, what the fuck's a Venti? Like, do you want 20? Do you want 20 Starbucks? Because Venti is like 20 and 20 is 20. So I was like, and my boy's like, she wants a large, dumbass. And I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't ever go to Starbucks, so. But yeah, that's.
But a lot of girls would come up to me or DM me or message me and be like, Ricardo didn't have the best reputation.
Let me drink to that one.
And they would just try to warn me. And so it was crazy. And plus I was a freshman. He was a junior. Like, it didn't look good, but we had so much fun. Like, we had so much fun in high school. And I loved it.
Yeah.
I went to every single prom, thanks to you.
I didn't.
But that's another story.
But yeah, no, it was definitely it was something that I never expected to come into my life.
Before me, you had not had a girlfriend for longer than
I think it was like 2 months.
A month or two.
Yeah, it wasn't I think the thing was I never appreciated having something good in my life. So when things started getting not too serious, but when things would get like to that point, I immediately bailed. And I was like, no, like, I can't do this. Because, I don't know, like, going back to my childhood traumas, like, it wasn't something that I was used to, and it wasn't something that I could commit to. And it sucks.
I don't think you knew how to be loved.
Exactly. And when you came into my life, it was a full 360. Like, you were like very like sensitive, sweet, caring, and like going with the flow with everything, and vice versa. I had to fight a lot for you, and I never really had to fight for anybody. So it was different, and I was like, what the fuck? And I noticed myself wanting to keep fighting for you. So that's why little by little it started working.
There's certain things that like I had boundaries for certain things.
Yeah.
And I really, really respected myself. So I think also that's kind of what was different from me and like the other girls that you were talking to.
Yeah. And now we're here.
And now we're here.
Or 9 years in, sorry.
9 years in, engaged.
Engaged. Well, 11.
Almost 10 years.
Almost 10 months engaged, roughly.
That's crazy.
But almost 10 years together.
Absolutely.
Wow. The big 10, double digits.
I know. Where are we going to go?
Shit. I just took you to the DR. I just took you to Guadalajara. Come on now. All right. So that's a little like, I guess, how would you say it?
Snippet.
That's a little snippet.
A little sliver of our story.
A little slice. Not a big slice from AJ's, but
there's so much history and there's so many stories. Like, it's crazy.
But I feel like everything we went through together has brought us to where we're at.
Absolutely. We literally watched each other grow up. And we are still watching each other grow up. And that's so special. And, like, not a lot of people have the opportunity to do that. And I'm so grateful to do it. And
it's crazy because not a lot of people at our age, at such a young age, get to say that they've been together for 10 years.
I do think
You're 24. I'm 20. I'm about to turn 27 in 2 weeks.
Damn.
Shut up. I'm about to turn 27 in 2 weeks. And damn, dude, since I was 17. That's crazy.
I do think it's like it's like an old school type of love.
Yeah, I love it.
Sure.
I love it, and I love you.
I love you too.
So that being said, a little background on our story for the people watching. What advice would you give couples, whether they're just starting out, whether they're facing issues or both? What advice would you give them?
I'd say communication is key. I feel like communication is one of our strongest suits.
Yes.
As a couple, for sure. And we talk about everything very openly. We listen to each other. And I would say communication is like the key to a successful relationship.
Yeah.
When we, don't see eye to eye on things, we talk about it immediately.
Yeah.
We don't wait. So I would say communication. What would you say? I'm curious.
And I feel like that's something we had just started getting into, because it's not easy. It's not like, dude, this isn't easy. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, yeah, 10 years is a long time, but it has been a ongoing battle, and it's going to be an ongoing battle for the rest of our lives. It's not something that, you get to a point and it's just rainbows and sunshines for the rest of the life. It's an ongoing commitment. It's an ongoing battle to continue loving each other.
We're choosing each other to do that with.
Yes.
That's the difference.
Yes.
And so what would you say? What advice would you give couples? You can't say something different than communication.
You took mine. That was going to be the one I was going to say.
Okay, can you explain it a different way?
She likes to take all my ideas. The five advices for women, that's the book that I wrote.
Oh, you wrote that book?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Written. It's on Amazon.
Oh. Send me the link.
My advice would be, I have one for both. One for the men and one for the women. For the men, especially Latino men, it would be learn how to listen. and I'll say that again, learn how to listen. Don't react. Like, it's so quick. Like, we have that blood boil that somebody says the wrong thing and it just, you want to shut down. You just want to quickly, instinctively react. Sometimes the best thing is to listen to what your partner has to say, think about it, and then process it, and then reply. Because sometimes, you know, we're right, sometimes they're right. And you have to acknowledge when you're wrong. And you have to acknowledge when to, you know, take a step back and be like, I'm sorry.
Sometimes we're both wrong.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're both
And that's
wrong.
called self-growth. You know, like, it's something that you have to learn. And for the women, I would say, this one's hard. I don't want your friends to yell at me.
Be careful what you say. I roll deep.
I would say, learn how to let your man lead.
Yeah,
That's a
one's
big
hard.
one. Because, you know, Latinas, especially my lady, she's very, like, she has a strong power. She has a strong will.
Just like independence.
Yeah, and the independence of the aspect of it. Men still have to be men. You know, if you want to be taken care of, if you want to feel vulnerable, if you want to have a safe space with your partner, you have to give that man that lead position.
I think like just
You know?
letting your walls down.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to feel the love either. Don't put your guard up. Because if you have your guard up or down, and, you know, as much as it sucks to say, if you're going to get screwed over, you're going to get screwed over regardless.
Yep.
So why not just get that taste of vulnerability and feeling like you're being taken care of? So that's where
I
I'm at.
agree. Those are really good.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
I know. I should write a book. Dolor por Amor, Volume 1.
Couple counseling.
Couple counseling. I'm going to have to read that book a couple of times for myself, too.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
But yeah, no, damn, this is good. It's good. How you feel so far?
I feel good.
Yeah, I feel good. You ready for the next one?
I'm having fun.
Yeah, this is fun, huh?
Fun. Yeah.
It's a little nervous in the beginning, but
At first, I didn't like these headphones, but like, I feel like Beyonce.
Cálmate. I feel like Beyonce. All right, baby. What would you say, looking back at 2024? We're in November, one more month left. And I asked everybody this question. What would you say the biggest blessing has been of 2024?
Easy answer.
Mm-hmm.
I think my biggest blessing
Mm-hmm.
has been our engagement.
Really?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
It was something that I did not expect at all. I was completely shocked. I didn't think we had been together for 9 years. So I thought at 10 years, in 2025, that's when you're going to ask me because, like, it's the big 10 year.
Mm-hmm.
So when you popped the question in the DR, I was completely shocked, like, thrown out of left field. And I think that was good for me.
Yeah.
I think if I would have expected it and I would have known about it, I just would have been in my head a lot.
Yeah.
So that's my absolute biggest blessing.
Elaborate more on in your head a lot.
Because as a little girl, I didn't really dream about getting married.
Yeah.
I didn't dream about getting married, so I didn't even, like, imagine it. I had no idea what that encompassed. I had no idea, like, what that looked like to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
So it's scary, especially us being so young.
Mm-hmm.
Like, us being so young and having such a lifetime commitment.
Yeah.
It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And it's also, like, I know that I have to provide some sort of, you know, it's a whole different playing field, marriage.
Yeah.
Crazy. So I think if I would have expected it, or if I would have known about it, it would have not gone well for my mental health.
Really? You would have just shut down.
Yes, but you did a great job. It's like the engagement of my dreams. I couldn't have asked for anything different.
And
Anything different.
And I would always ask her, like, what would be your, like, dream engagement? Like, and this was, like, questions I asked, like, a year or two.
And very frequently, like we
Yeah.
would talk about this stuff all the time.
Yeah, and we had just talked about it not too long ago before that. And
You asked me. I know you don't remember this.
Yeah,
but
we were going to the
You asked
mall.
me. No. You asked me at the pool the morning of our engagement. He's bringing me this
Oh, yeah.
a coconut that this guy just chopped and put a straw in. I'm
Yeah.
trying the coconut water, and he's like, "What would you do if I proposed?" He just asked me that same morning, and
Yeah.
I didn't think anything of it. I was like, I would say yes.
I asked her that because I wanted her to. She knows I like. It's like a mind game.
Absolutely.
So
and
I know how she is.
You know how to like
So
trick me now.
I asked her because she's like, he would not ask me this if he is gonna propose. He would try his best to keep it away from me.
And you were so calm and collected.
Yeah. I have such a poker face.
The whole trip leading up to that whole day, so calm. I couldn't even, like, I didn't notice any difference in you.
I was shitting bricks.
I couldn't tell.
I was. I've changed my pants a couple of times.
Is that why you went on a walk to go get me ice cream?
No. I went on a walk to get you ice cream because you wanted ice cream. Keep in mind, the ice cream place is like at least a quarter mile away. It's in the same resort, but the resort is big. And she's like, quiero nieve. And I'm like, okay. And it's hot. It's hot in the DR. It's humid.
It's really hot.
It's not that hot, but it's humid.
It's humid.
So I'm over here walking all the way to the ice cream store to get her ice cream. Bro, like halfway back, the ice cream is melting all over my hands. And I'm like, she's going to be so upset because she's not going to get her ice cream. It's melted. Dude, I get to the room and my hands are just covered in vanilla and the ice cream's like halfway melted. And I'm like, here.
It was coconut.
It was coconut? Oh, mine was vanilla.
Mine was coconut.
Yeah.
But I still ate it. It was bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea that I was getting ready for that engagement. And it's crazy because I was wearing white. Like,
We were both wearing white. I don't know how you didn't expect
I didn't expect
like,
it. I just thought, like, this is such a vibe. We're in a beach. Like,
Yeah.
you know?
I'm like, I'm taking. It's because it was also our anniversary, and it was quote unquote
Yes.
our anniversary trip.
Anniversary dinner. You
Yeah.
said it was our anniversary dinner.
And I kind of like slacked the last year, so I was like downplaying it. I was like, yeah, I'm making up for last year.
And I feel like, I forgot what I was going to say.
That you love me. So your biggest blessing of 2024 was our engagement. Yeah, that's the same response that I had in. I feel like the podcast I had with Mundo. And I asked him that question. He asked me back the question, and I said, my engagement.
I would relive that day over and over and
Yeah.
over again.
If I can be on the beach with you again, I'd be there right now.
Me too.
Moscow Mule. What were you ordering over there?
I have no idea. I was ordering everything.
Cocktail, the coconut. There was something. Piña colada, yeah.
Piña colada.
And they made piña coladas with rum.
Bomb.
That's good. All right. Last but not least, baby. 2025. You got any goals written?
I really do think this is a big year.
Yeah.
I think this is a really, really big year. This is, like, I feel like I am becoming a woman. I'm being so serious. I'm becoming a woman.
You already are a woman.
I feel like I'm blossoming, though. Like, it's different. I don't know. Maybe because I'm about to turn 25.
Oh, you're
I'm about
old.
to turn 25.
The big 2-5. Quarter of a year.
My
quarter
frontal
of a year.
lobe is going to, what is it
Twitch?
called? Twitch?
don't
No.
know.
It's going to mend or something.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Are you serious?
I swear.
Okay, so I guess when you're 25, your frontal lobe develops fully, and you can think, process things fully. So I just can't wait to see what 25 looks like for me.
Yeah.
Do I have plans for 25?
No, your goals.
For 2025?
Yes.
Be happy, make money.
I mean,
No, I don't have any goals, babe. I told you I live very like with the flow.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm not there yet. I don't have any specific goals for 2025. I do want to buy a house. I would say that's a really big goal. I want to buy a property, a house, for sure. Other than that, I want to continue to do the work I'm doing and work with cool people, create cool shit, and continue to develop my brand.
Yeah. Boss Cosmetics.
BossCosmetics.com. Place an order.
Exactly. Sell out.
And I want to travel with you.
Yeah. That's always the goal. Is
Exactly.
try to get out of our normal life as much as possible to
experience new things, new cultures,
live in different places. My biggest goal for next year is
tell me,
to buy us a house. I've been trying so hard.
I know.
But,
I know
feel
you
it.
are.
I feel it coming.
Me too.
I think it's time.
We talk about how we are really trying to enjoy living with our families right now because when we move out, like, that's it.
And I feel like we're just so family oriented that we don't see it, but like you get so used to that kind of bubble or that umbrella that kind of hovers over you. And as soon as we move out, it's gonna be like. And
both of our families are so like tight knit.
Yeah, connected.
Yeah, so I think when we move out, it's gonna be a big deal for both of our families.
Yeah.
Because you're the youngest.
Yeah.
Your mom?
It's crazy.
She's gonna be so sad.
Yeah. So you heard it here, guys. Buying a house next year.
And you guys are all invited to the housewarming party. We're throwing a party, BYOB.
BYOB, because we're going to have no money left.
There's going to be no furniture.
No furniture. No, we're
just vibes. Just vibes.
We're going to have furniture, but we're going to have a housewarming party for sure.
Absolutely.
You know, everybody's invited. We're going to
get on the guest list, you have to email me at...
We're going to have RSVP, you know. If you'd like to send some donations.
Don't come empty-handed. Don't come empty-handed.
Bring housewarming gifts.
I'm not a registry.
American furniture, please.
I'm dead.
But no, yeah, that's the goal for me, baby. It's to buy us a house, and
I'm so excited for that chapter.
Yeah.
I do feel like I'm ready for that chapter. I'm excited about it. We've talked about it a lot, and I do think the time is right.
Yeah. And then another one is to grow the podcast, the businesses that I have, you know, going on.
I can totally see it.
And, you know, just keep working on myself. You know, self-growth is possibly the biggest investment. You know, investing in yourself is the biggest thing. So that's where we're at. All right, so
I agree.
Anything else?
I agree. I don't know. I think I do have one. If you stayed this long, kudos to you.
Yeah. I appreciate you. I appreciate all my supporters.
But I do have one final question for you.
Okay, what is it?
I'm going to switch it up and ask you a question.
Shoot.
Just, you know, I didn't prepare for this. I'm just, like, making something up right now.
Okay. I'm not ready.
But
go for it.
I do want to ask you a question. So, being that we grew up in such different landscapes, what is, like, the biggest thing that I have taught you or that you've learned from me throughout our relationship?
Yeah. This is one of those questions where you hit me with the right hook and I don't know how to react. Elaborate more on the different... You said what? The different...
Landscapes.
Landscapes. What do you mean by landscapes?
Like, we just grew up so differently, you know? Like, we're from the same culture, but we grew up so differently. And I think that's so beautiful because we show each other different things.
Yeah. I feel like the number one thing that I've gotten from you, not only you, but your family, is learning to enjoy life every day versus on the weekends. That's one of the biggest things, is because you guys, I feel like for you guys, every day is not Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's just today. And that's so beautiful because you guys don't live off of excitement for the weekends. You guys just, the day is just a beautiful day, and let's make the most out of it. And that's one of the biggest, not one of the biggest, but that's one big takeaway that I've gotten from you guys, is that versus my family, it's work, work hard Monday through Saturday, and then enjoy Sunday off, and then go back again. And some call it the rat race.
Yeah.
But that, and then also just learning how to love. That's the biggest one, is learning how to love, because in my family, it was not love, it was tough love. But I'm first generation Mexican American, so my parents came from Mexico, and
Nayarit.
Guadalajara.
It's crazy though, because I'm going to stop you really fast, because your family is from Nayarit, and the coffee that we source here for the cafe is from Nayarit, and we did not know each other.
It's destiny.
We did not know each other. We've always sourced our coffee from there for years and years and years. So like when I found that out,
you're like, that's it. He's the one.
Mind blown. Mind blown. And now we go every single summer.
Yeah. No, it's love and vulnerability. Because, again, going to the first generation Mexican American, machismo is the biggest thing. And I was raised by a strong father, and he whooped my ass a lot when I did something wrong, and he taught me the ropes on how to work hard and take care of a family, but I didn't learn how to love family. He showed me that just work hard to take care of the family, and that's the most important thing. But I feel like that ties in a close second. The first thing is making sure your family is emotionally taken care of, and I feel like that's where you're at. You guys are emotionally, financially and everything too, but the biggest thing for you guys is emotional safety.
Absolutely.
And I got that from you guys. But I don't know, at the end of the day, I feel like I've learned a lot from you guys, and from you specifically, and I'm still gonna learn more, and that's just how it is.
That's the journey.
All right, so gonna close this one off.
No.
I just want to say
no.
I want to say thank you to my lovely fiance for being my 7th guest at Dolor por Amor. So, anything you want to say?
Thank you, baby. I'm so proud of you. Seriously, this all
Thank you.
started like out of nowhere, but it was perfect timing, divine timing. And I'm so glad that you checked out the Amazon cart for all this equipment.
Yeah, I know, right? It was an Amazon cart for a long time, but.
And we share an Amazon account, so I saw it and I was like, "Are you starting a podcast?"
And by share, that means I had an Amazon account, Amazon Prime account, and she took my password, and then it was history by then. But she orders more stuff than me on my Amazon account, but it's not mine anymore. It's ours, I guess. So.
Yeah, we're engaged. Everything is ours.
Yeah. All right, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode. Dolor por Amor, number 7 in the books. Like, comment, subscribe, click bell notifications for the weekly or bi-weekly video uploads. If you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and TikTok, Dolor por Amor podcast. Let us know what you think. Drop a comment. Send us some love, and we'll see you on the next one.
Besitos.